Welcome back. I've traced the cardboard template onto the steel. This is the repair section, the sill repair section I made about a month ago. If you didn't see that, I made that in the street, folded it around a fire extinguisher. But the repair section is much larger than I need. I did think, because the patch that I cut off last week came up to about here, it was much larger. So I thought I was going to end up cutting, up to, but I've managed to sort of salvage a lot more, and I've even managed to salvage the flange, the edge. So I'm going to be cutting that off. So let's just undo the little clamps. So what I've done, I've just clamped the cardboard template onto the repair section. I used a little bit of masking tape and stuck it down here and there, and I've just sort of traced it on with a scribe. Let me just pop these clamps down. There we go. Let's have a look. If I just catch it in the light, you can just see, and we can see it's not a particularly straight line, and that's quite deliberate, because I've sort of hand cut the sill, and I've tried to file it, and it's not been done on the guillotine, so it's not perfectly straight, the cut on the sill, and so I've copied that onto the slight wrinkles and all. I've copied that with the cardboard, so I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm just going to trim this out, and that's going to be my repair section. So I need left-handed and right-handed snips. Let's have a look, which one do we need? Because snips, I explained in a previous video, when you want the workpiece, which is the patch that I'm going to be using, I want that to stay as straight as possible, and the scrap, I want that to curl up. So that's going to curl to the right hand side. Let's up. No, these are left-handed snips. When I close this one, it's going to make it curl to the right. So let me just change this to the left of it one. If I go for the other one, when I close these, the waste will come off to the right. So let's just see if I can do this on camera. It's slightly awkward. I could do with a workbench, but I'm trying to get you to be able to see it. There we go. It's very awkward here in the street, but there we go. That's it. Obviously, because of this flange in the way, it's a little bit awkward. It wants to, actually I'm going to have to just bend that down slightly, because the snips want to sit where the flange is. I can bash that back, but actually I don't need the flange. What I need is to be able to cut along this line perfectly straight. Not straight, but it is on a curve, and I need to follow that curve precisely. There we go. Let's have a look. There's a slight undulation, so let's follow that undulation. You can see the waste is coming off to the right hand side, and largely the workpiece, the patch, the repair section, is remaining completely true to the size and shape I've already made it. There we go. So of course, if I use the wrong snips, there's somebody coming in shouting into his phone. You might not be able to hear me in a minute, but there we go. I'll tap that back up. Let's have a look. And then this, I'll need to use the opposite snips. I need the waste coming off, not on the right hand side this time, because the right hand side is the workpiece. I need the waste coming off on the left. But that's going to be quite difficult, because this is so enormous. It's not going to roll. Let me think what's going to happen here. Yeah, it's going to. Yeah, if it's just a little piece, it'll roll rather well. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do a rough cut. And if that distorts, it won't be a problem. And then when I do a secondary cut right up against the line, it will curl. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll do it from this side, so I need my right-handed snips. So let's just try and get this. It seems rather wasteful with the material, but never mind. I've got lots of it. I've got an 8 foot by 4 foot sheet of this mild steel, so I'm definitely not going to be running out of material. See what I mean about when it's really huge, you just can't get it to roll. So this is a rough cut. There we go. Let's and I need the other snips now. Let's take and turn this piece round. As I say, I'm just doing a rough cut. Leave about 1 centimetre or so of extra material, and then I'll come and do a really clean cut with the material rolling properly as it should, with the waste rolling, that is. There we go. Goodness me. Because of the shape I put into the steel, it's actually quite strong. It doesn't want to bend. You know, when you've got a curve, it's a bit like why the bill bridges with an arch or a curve. It's very strong. A flat sheet is really easy to cut, but anything with a curve is rather difficult. Right, there we go. A very, very rough cut here. Right, let's get that out of the way. There we go. Chuck that out of the way. Now I can do a clean cut. And I need left-hand snips. And we're trying to follow that line there. I'll do this one, but I'm not going to do the big long one. I don't think it's going to take too long. And I'll do the same again. I'll do a rough cut. I'll rough this off. Then I'll come back to the scribe line with about 10 millimeters, and that will all curl up. You just can't get such an enormous piece to curl up cleanly. It's too much. Here we go. That's starting to roll now. There we go. Just trying to follow my scribe line, which isn't straight, deliberately. There we go. That's it. There we go. It's not a problem. It's slightly bent. I can easily tap that about. I just need a bit of a radius. And anyway, I'm going to do the rest off camera, and I'll do the same. I'll do a rough cut along here, then I'll do a really, really clean, accurate cut up against the scribe line. And you know, I'll tap all this into shape, and it'll be ready to weld.